Yes, I'd like to share with you this sheet, which is a version of what some congregations use as they start to talk about disaster preparedness. And we're actually going to do this exercise together. So unmute yourself. I can't see you because I have the sheet writ large, but unmute yourselves and you can speak together. The first column is kind of typical disasters that we might imagine we would face. That includes fires, floods, hurricanes, volcanoes, war, pandemics, earthquakes. And I'm just curious about whether you think we need to prepare for those or not. So give me a verbal response of a yes if you think we in the Pacific Northwest and Oregon need to prepare for fires.
Yes.
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 Yeah, I'm going to put red on that as a high capacity response. Okay. Do you think we in the Pacific Northwest need to prepare for floods?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Do you think we in the Pacific Northwest need to prepare for hurricanes?
No.
Mm.
Nah.
Big
Yeah, not so
windstorm.
much, right? That's not our culture. That's more the Southeast. And so I'm going to make that green as something that's probably not something we need to be worried about. Do you think we in the Northwest need to prepare for volcanoes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we had one of those a little while ago, didn't we? So, and Steve Eberling just kind of told us how that happens. Do you think we in the Pacific Northwest, do you consider war a natural disaster? Do we need to prepare actively for war right now?
Are you talking about downtown Portland or Northeast Portland?
So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put riots here on our list of disasters.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to prepare for riots?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got
It's
an
not
election
gonna
coming
end.
up. I don't know how that's going to go. I'll put red there. Back to war. Do we need to prepare for war?
I don't think.
I don't think so.
I'm going to put green on that. Pandemics. Do you think we have to prepare for pandemics?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I know we're in the midst of one, right? Are there more coming around the corner? I guess you never know. How about earthquakes?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
after that TED talk, yeah.
Can I find a deeper shade of red to put in there? We'll see.
I'd like to prepare for wind.
Wind.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
We'll put that. Charlene wants to prepare for wind. She lives on the coast. Oops. Wrong color red, but that's all right. Other disasters that come to your mind that aren't on this list that you think we might want to have in our imagination?
Snow and ice.
Snow and ice.
Good one.
Medium.
Well, I guess with riots, what about issues of civil unrest? Whether I don't want to.
Snow and ice brings down the power lines, right? No power.
Shooter incidences,
Yeah,
but
civil unrest. Did I miss somebody said something else?
Cyber attacks
Cyber attacks. Oh my.
on the grid.
You know, it's very interesting. FEMA is all about cyber attacks, all about cyber threats. It's just a nuisance for us, but it's pretty serious. I got room for one more. Anything else you want to put on the list here?
Food shortages.
Food shortages, which is a perfect lead into the next part of this exercise, which is let's take those disasters back up to fires. What's at risk with fires? Our water supply?
Yes.
Yeah.
Power supply?
Absolutely.
You bet.
Food, there's the tie, food.
Yes.
You bet.
That could be distribution, that can be access to, that could actually, food stores burn down, that could be food banks. You know, Deb Chenoweth, what happens to the food bank in times of disaster?
Overwhelming.
Medical needs.
Yes.
Yes.
Need for shelter, John Core.
Massive.
Yes.
Mental insults or depression or health issues, mental health issues, do those arise from fires?
Oh, huge problem.
Huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Problem.
And are there climate impacts from fires?
Yeah.
Yes.
Smoke.
Smoke. Yeah.
So there's smoke, there's certainly smoke, and of course, With the fire being burned, with forest being burned, they can't take care of themselves in the way they did before, right? So you get dry timber, which is, in our case, we've had over 1 million acres of forest burn in just the last week. That's twice the normal yearly average of 500,000 acres.
Wow.
And so, you know,
Wow.
and so those burned forests now become a further fire risk for the future, right? How about floods? Water supply issues?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indeed, because it pollutes. You lose power,
Good. Yeah.
food.
Yep.
I'm only hearing a few voices. What do you all think
yeah.
here?
Yeah. I'd say right across the board.
I'd say right across the board too, right? I mean, in different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travis has been in Umatilla where the flooding was there in February. Travis, we doing this right?
Yep. Is there any way to put distribution on there?
When you do this with your congregation, put distribution on there. I'm out of squares. It's kind of like.
Fair enough.
So hurricanes. These things are also issues with hurricanes, right? We see that.
Yep. And then some.
Yeah. Yes.
There's always the then some categories, right? Volcanoes. What did we experience with volcanoes?
Yeah.
And again, the climate impact of volcanoes from the smoke and the ash. War, all those things are at risk.
Very.
Pandemics. Has your water supply been affected by the pandemic?
No.
No.
No, I wouldn't say so.
No.
So let's be honest about that. That's
No.
has your power been affected by the pandemic?
Nope.
No.
No.
Food supply?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's still going.
Yeah, sort of, kind of,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
access to shopping, things like that. Medical needs,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shelter.
No.
Yes.
For
Wow.
the houseless, yes.
So shelter for the
And
houseless.
for being able to shelter people who have the disease so that they can stay away from the population.
That's
Good
right.
point.
Thank you,
point.
Katie. And what has happened around sheltering as we have layered fire on top of the pandemic?
Oh, my.
Thank you. Oh my is the right answer. Yeah. I mean, my home congregation, Central in Portland, was asked if we could possibly house 19 disabled adults from West Lynn if the fires got there, right? And what's the question we as a congregation asked?
Do they have COVID?
Do they have COVID? What do we do about our social distancing rules? We closed down the church building, right?
That's right.
Earthquakes across the board?
Across the board.
Yeah.
Okay. Riots? Water supply put at risk with riots?
No.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Power?
No.
No.
Possibly.
Possibly, but for the most part, I'm going to say those aren't things. Our mental health?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, so, so we won't do the whole grid, but the point here really is that when we talk about disaster preparedness, what we're really talking about is access to water, how we're going to shelter, how we're going to communicate with our families and agencies that help us, whether or not we're going to lose power. And so you don't have to prepare for a flood, you prepare for power outages, right? You don't just prepare for the earthquake, you say, where are we going to get food, where are we going to shelter? And many of those needs are true across the board. So this is one of the exercises that congregations can do and that the Synod core team does is what sort of disasters do we anticipate possibly coming our way? And what are the implications of those disasters? So, Jan?
Thank you.